You care about that, right? You want hardworking Americans. Okay, great. Then why didn't you vote for Kamala Harris, who wanted to do a 25% down payment on a home for people that are struggling to live paycheck for paycheck? Why didn't you vote for Kamala Harris, who does not? Hold on. I'm going to tell you who's going to pay for it. That was my next point. Donald Trump gave the biggest tax breaks to the top 1% in this country and his billionaire friends. Kamala Harris wanted to lower the tax bracket to 27% for income families that are making under $400,000 total income. Donald Trump is going to do the opposite, just like he did in his first administration. So I believe you, sir, David, when you say you think it's terrible that people can't afford a home, that people are losing homes. I'm with you 100% on that. Then why would you vote against your interest and vote for a guy by the name of Donald J. Trump, who does not want to give tax breaks to those that are struggling, who does not want to give a $25,000 down payment to people that are struggling, living paycheck to paycheck? Why do people like you vote against your own interests?
So when you're saying that she was going to tax other people. So
yes, the top 1%. The top, no, that's not how it works. She doesn't want to give, I'm going to explain it. I'm explaining it to you. She doesn't want to give the biggest tax breaks in decades to billionaires and CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. Most Democrats agree with Kamala Harris that they want the rich to pay their fair share. Now, what do I mean by that? I'll tell you why. If you're making $25,000 a year, you shouldn't be paying the same percentage on taxes as somebody like an Elon Musk. But MAGA Republicans and the people, with all due respect, that you voted for, Donald Trump, do not want to change their tax bracket percentage-wise to the billionaires. You see, if billionaires paid a higher percentage on their taxes and those living paycheck to paycheck got a break on their taxes, which is exactly what Kamala Harris wanted to do, then the people that you say you're...
Other people paying for my house, they're paying a higher percentage.
It's not
that money, and then
it's not. It's not. It's a because it's a loan, and over time you would have to pay it back. And you know why they'd be able to pay it back? Because Kamala Harris, wait for it, wanted to lower their taxes. It was in her plan that so many people, maybe people like you, said Kamala Harris, wait for it, wanted to lower their taxes.
Donald Trump had an interview in 2014 where he explained to Fox News what making America great again looks like.
You know what solves it? When the economy crashes, when the country goes to total hell, and everything is a disaster, then you'll have you'll have riots to go back to where we used to be when we were great. But the fact is that it's not easy on Republicans because you have a lot of people that like their lives right now without working.
That is what making America great again means. And it also comes with media manipulation, as Fox is totally at fault here too. The reporter asked him, hey, Republicans are the party that wants to get rid of social programs. How do we fix this? And what do we do to not be the bad guy? And also kind of implied that Republicans don't use financial assistance and that they only pay into it. Even though Democrats and Republicans both pay into social programs and use social programs, which demonizes the use of social services and somehow makes it a party issue when this is just a class issue. Donald Trump's vision of making America great again is a hellscape with riots and a crashing economy. So I guess this is truly what making America great again means. Let me know how great it is for you guys.
My name's Kylie, and I'm proof that white people can change. I grew up around a lot of conservative people, whether that was extended family, the parents of friends, or simply the town that I was raised in. I used to believe a woman shouldn't have sex till she's ready to have a baby. Insane. I was anti-LGBTQ. I was extremely religious and devout and tried to fit in with all of the other white people that I was around. I simply inherited the beliefs of those around me and became what my environment was. But I broke out of it, and that's why I make my content, because I know that it's fully possible for other white people to do the same. Is it fucking scary? Yes, because your entire way of life as a white conservative is tied up in politics and religion. So it can be very difficult to leave. You have to reevaluate your entire sense of self, what you like to do, and who you are fundamentally. But I did it. Why? Education, exposure to different perspectives, and a love of learning. Books genuinely pulled me out of this bubble, truly. Also realizing I was queer and liked women definitely helped, but I repressed that shit until college. Point being, you can change. If you're a white person seeing this, it is possible. It's scary, but I did it, and I am so much happier now. It is so much better to think for yourself. Go read a book. You got this.
All right, it's time for MAGA versus Jesus, round 7. MAGA says fake news, but the Bible says the Lord detests lying lips, but delights in people who are trustworthy. It's funny how everything that is against Donald Trump's agenda is automatically fake news, regardless of if it's true or not. But God delights in those who tell the truth, not in those who lie to line their own pocketbooks. MAGA says, stand back and stand by. But the Bible says, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Standing back and waiting for violence to happen or instigating violence are not compatible with biblical teachings. The Bible tells us that we are to create a more peaceful society by actively working for peace. MAGA says, opponents are enemies of the people. But Jesus says, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. Jesus called us for a radical reformation of our hearts in which we strove to love everyone, even our enemies, not to demonize them. MAGA says, be real, Americans. But Paul says, there is no longer Jew or Greek, slave or free, male or female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus. Following Jesus is about looking for our commonalities. You see, the teachings of Jesus are simply incompatible with Donald Trump and his agenda.
I mean, what in the actual...
I'm American, bro. What hospital? Yo, these guys are literally based off of skin color.
That dude's name is Jason Brian Gavidia. He's an American-born American citizen and resident of Los Angeles. He's also an entrepreneur and a small business owner of a body shop in LA. He is a member of the working class living the American dream. But because he's Hispanic like 65 million other American citizens right now, Donald Trump's armed, masked private military, he looks like an undocumented immigrant. And that is all it took for them to come to his place of work, twist his arm and throw him up against a fence. And when he said he was an American, demand to know what hospital he was born in. By the way, regardless of your ethnicity, can you name what hospital you were born in? Because I fucking can't, and I was born 90 minutes from here. Now, this assault took place back in June, and in part because of this assault, multiple federal judges ordered the Trump administration to stop fucking racial profiling. Because looking at a person and assuming they're a criminal because of their skin color is racist as fuck. Especially when you're a federal officer who took an oath to uphold the Constitution. Besides, let's flip it real quick. Do all old white men want us to assume that they're a predator just because they happen to look like the predator blob in the White House? Because it is literally the guys who said not all men who are saying, yeah, but probably all Hispanics. But now this is once again legal because the MAGA majority on the Supreme Court that cares more about their loyalty to Trump than they do about the Constitution use the shadow docket to permit racial profiling while the appeal goes through. Because to them, it's more important to allow the president to be racist as fuck than it is to protect the 4th and 14th Amendments of the Constitution, which together protect all people from illegal search and seizure and demand equal protection under the law. Two constitutional protections that for 20% of Americans no longer apply. And even though we may win out at the end of the appeals process, I hope every single voter, Hispanic or otherwise, remembers when you go to the ballot box, it never should have come to this.
Hello everyone, it's Anthony. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and as usual, I don't really like disrupting you watching these videos, so let's continue watching and debunk the MAGA hypocrisy at the end of these videos.
This example of MAGA's double standard on free speech is almost unbelievable. You have to see this with your own eyes. So on August 15th of this year, Olivia says hate speech is still free speech. Cry about it. Then one day ago, she says, I feel like a Karen with the amount of calls I've made to employers. Anyway, back at it again today. She then went on Newsmax and said, I've contacted over 706 employers and delegated hundreds of other submissions to people who offered to help. I will not stand for the vile, hateful comments made about Charlie Kirk and his wife. But I'm confused because just 1 month ago, she was defending hateful comments towards other people. What changed? It's very clear the MAGA crowd only cares about free speech when they agree with it. But this guy pointed out something that I think is true as well, saying normally when a civil rights leader passes away, their supporters spend days reciting their greatest quotes and preachings. So it's notable that the right has devoted the past 2 days to trying to get Olive Garden waitresses fired for critical TikToks while avoiding his body of work. To finish off here, he once said it was a mistake to pass the Civil Rights Act in 1964. He called Martin Luther King Jr. awful and said he was not a good person. He's also demonized the LGBTQ plus community multiple times and defended stoning them. And he also, of course, said the Second Amendment is worth the amount of people that lose their lives to firearms. Keep in mind, he's saying that while firearms are the #1 reason children pass away in this country.
Have you guys seen the video of that guy who went viral for saying that he's going to screenshot Mike Johnson's Grindr profile and put it on here? Well, there's an update. I saw another video of him saying that he now has a team of lawyers and that he would never hurt himself. So it sounds like things drastically escalated. But genuinely, I've spent so much time like searching my soul and my heart trying to understand. And if anyone can help me understand, please. Why are so many of these Republican men, especially those in power, why are they closeted? And I think I'm asking that question for so many reasons. One reason is, if they are gay, in fact, why do they want to hurt other gay people? Is it shame? Like, it's so confusing to me. Because with a lot of them, I also heard, I guess apparently Marco Rubio is also gay, and everybody in DC knows this, apparently. A bunch of people there have slept with him. But again, if this is the case, and Lindsey Graham is gay, and Mike Johnson is gay, and Marco Rubio is gay, and all these people, there's so many of them that are gay, possibly including the vice president, right? I mean, there's rumors about all these people. Genuinely, what are they doing? Like, why are they trying to destroy our society if in the quiet moments they don't even believe what they're saying? Like this guy, for instance. This guy was watching T. Corn, and he was a Wisconsin MAGA candidate for office. And now he's coming out saying that it's dangerous for him to have been running for office, and that he's going to drop out because he was apparently found out that he follows someone named Jiz Lee. Which, like, there's a part of this that it's hard not to, it's like astonishing. Do you know what I mean? It's just astonishing. And I need someone to help me understand, what are these people doing? What are you doing? Why are you drawing so much attention to yourself by taking these public leadership positions and attacking your own community? I understand you're obviously choosing to live your life in the closet, but you're still participating. Like, it's one thing if you're just, like, in quiet times, literally hiding in the closet, searching the stuff on your computer, but you guys are going out fearlessly into these communities, sleeping with people who often are strangers, and then you just expect them to keep your secrets? Why would they do that? I'm so confused. Help.
Happy Inauguration Day. Ready to be able to afford things again? Living under Biden's shit economy of inflation this past 4 years, Trump is going to save us. Oh.
What did they expect? Overnight prices would go down? And the tariffs, I mean, we need them. They've been screwing us over for a long time. I might lose my small business and I might have to file for bankruptcy, but he did it like 6 times. Look at him. We're going to be fine. I'm willing to take the pain to help save this country because I'm a patriot. And that man right there, he lives and dies by the Constitution. Like I live and die by the Constitution. We have nothing if we don't have that. I think he was joking about the 3rd term, but I mean, even if he's not, we need him. I know if he thinks that he needs to be there for a 3rd term, it's because we need him. And we can change the Constitution and due process. I think that he should have all the power. It's fine. I can't wait to watch him hold all those crazy libs accountable for what they did to him. Shit, take it all the way back to Hillary. Her emails. She needs to be held accountable. Lock her up. I mean, who hasn't added the wrong person to a group text? I mean, I've done it. My grandma does it all the time. Okay, he was using his Gmail, and he's our national security advisor. Lock her up.
He's gonna end those wars. And no new wars.
Peace is complicated. It's very complicated. Greenland, however, we should take Greenland. And if that means that he thinks we need to go in by force, then I am good with that. Yep.
And to everyone watching, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, and make your thoughts on this topic heard, because it's very important to engage in dialogue. So if you're watching these videos and you are silent, I think you're making a mistake. So make your voice heard. Let's comment, let's discuss, because that's how we progress in our thoughts.
So let me get this straight. MAGA is melting down because Bad Bunny is the 2026 Super Bowl halftime performer? Spare me. I mean, the hypocrisy is wild. Americans will literally line up to vacation in Puerto Rico, Cabo, Cancun, the Dominican Republic, Colombia. They'll eat the food, sip the rum, dance to the music, and flood their Instagram feeds with exotic culture shots. They love Latinidad when it's a backdrop to their leisure. But when that culture is centered here in America on this soil, when a global superstar like Bad Bunny commands the biggest stage in America, suddenly it's an insult. Suddenly it's not our culture. That's colonization talking. It's the entitlement in the DNA. Consume, extract, and enjoy, but never, ever respect. Here's the truth, though. Latin culture isn't just something you fly to and sample. It's already woven into America. From reggaeton to tacos, from bachata to bodegas. Latin contributions fuel this country. You don't get to devour the culture abroad and then act offended when it's celebrated at home. That outrage, pure BS. It's not about music. It's about power and control, about who's allowed to take up space in America. And guess what? Bad Bunny, like Kendrick Lamar before him, has earned it. Numbers don't lie. Culture doesn't either. And to everyone who is mad, stay mad.
92% girl power redefined.
I posted a video about how I used to be a Trump supporter, but how I'm not anymore, and the comments on that were overwhelmingly so kind and supportive and welcoming. But I also did get some comments like this, like I should have woken up so much earlier, and honestly, they're understandable, and I understand the anger and the frustration, but I'm hoping that I can give a response to these type of comments that can bridge some understanding. So in the last 3 years, I have deconstructed my marriage. I realized my marriage was a lie. And soon after that, I realized my religion, the Mormon religion, is a lie. And I deconstructed that. And then soon after that, I realized that my political views were a lie. What jump-started all of this for me was that I knew that my marriage was very difficult and something was off and really hard. But I didn't realize until year 7 of my marriage that my ex is actually a sociopath. When I learned that, my whole worldview blew up. I've never seen the world the same. I became obsessed with learning all about NPD and ASPD because I was trying to make sense of what I was going through and trying to wrap my brain around how his brain worked to comprehend how he could do the things that he did. I had to fight a ton of cognitive dissonance. So there's that. And then about 1.5 years after I got divorced, I had some questions about my church that I grew up in. The Mormon church was my entire identity, and I was very, very dedicated to it. So it was a lot for me to recognize that the Mormon church is also a narcissistic system, because I recognize all the NPD abuse tactics in the Mormon church, and I realized that it's really just a church trying to get people's money, but my whole worldview was their plan of salvation. And so this is what I'm trying to get at, is that I grew up in a very conservative religious bubble, and in religion, you do not learn how to think critically. Religion conditions you to gaslight yourself, because you learn to look to the Holy Spirit and look to people in authority over you to guide your life and give you answers to your life.
And you're taught that your own inner thoughts and your inner knowing and internal guidance system is sinful. So you learn to shut that off and you learn to look outward for direction and guidance and approval in your life. So that is a huge reason I did not recognize, because I just didn't think critically about things. I just did what I was told and went along with my environment. Also, a big reason I did not recognize sooner is because in Mormonism, you are influenced to get married young and have kids quick and have many kids. So think of the political things that were going on. So in 2013, I had my first kid. In 2015, I had my second kid. In 2017, I had my third kid. In 2020, I had my fourth kid. And during all of those years, I don't think I even ever watched TV. And this isn't like a all Mormons thing. This was a me thing too, because I was just very perfectionistic and had religious OCD. I was just like neck deep in being a mom. And on top of that, my marriage was very difficult and caused me a lot of stress and anxiety every day. And so anyways, my energy was not spent on politics at all. I didn't watch the news. I was not on social media. I was not even on TikTok until 3 months ago. So I basically went along with the environment that I was in, which is very conservative and very religious, and I didn't dig deep enough to really look at the facts. I started paying attention to politics, and if you go back to my other video, I'll tell you the exact moment where I realized that Trump is the problem and not the hero. Essentially, what really helped me to recognize that the left party is actually the truth-telling scapegoats, and that Trump gives the right the narrative that they are crazy lunatics, is because I learned about psychological abuse tactics and because I learned about NPD and ASPD. And I really think that if a lot of MAGA understood the depths and the ins and outs of psychological abuse, like someone who has been through it and lived it and studied it, I feel like their eyes would be opened so much easier to what is happening. Because it's not like MAGA thinks they're supporting a fascist dictator. I truly believe that if a lot of MAGA saw that fact clearly, they would bolt and they would not support him anymore and they would fight against him. Not all of MAGA is bad. I'm sure there are some that support him knowing fully who he is, but like my friends and family, they're good people. They truly believe that they're supporting the hero. They believe that they're supporting the person that is saving our country, and they think that the left are crazy, radical, hateful, angry people. So I'm just trying to help people see MAGA as humans and not automatically villainize or demonize them. They are not bad people, they are conditioned. And if we want to use this term, they are brainwashed. They have drank the Kool-Aid. They don't see things clearly. It is very much a cult. It's actually crazy to me that the religious party is the party that is manipulated and controlled and in the dark. It's so fitting now that I know the reality of at least the Mormon religion, because Mormonism literally is all manipulation and control and deception. But they don't see it. They just don't see clearly. They don't have bad hearts. Like when I supported Trump, I've always cared about people. I've always had a lot of empathy. I've always cared about living in truth. So waking up to the facts about Trump wasn't a change of heart. It was just a clarity in vision. So let's welcome people who wake up just like they have gotten out of an abusive relationship, because in reality, MAGA is in an abusive relationship with Trump, and they are being deceived, manipulated, and controlled. So when they get out, let's let them evolve, let's let them heal. No, it's hard. The anger and the frustration is valid, but at the same time, the divide is not going to solve any problems.
Thank you for watching this video to the end. My name is Anthony, and what I usually do, I bring American stories to the limelight. So I collect many stories together, I compile them, and then I let you watch and make your judgment. So the party of free speech, the party of Christians, the party of words, peace is all over us. You know, the other day after the Charlie Kirk shooting incident, the MAGA base was demanding a civil war, and they don't do the same when kids are being uh, exposed to extreme violence in our schools. Maybe every week we are experiencing these mass shootings in our schools, and the MAGA base doesn't have a solution for that. But what solution do they have when one of them is targeted by one of them? They want a civil war, which is very bad. The party of peace, they tried canceling Jimmy Kimmel. They tried canceling him. The party of free speech, the party of free speech, they are happy when the immigrants, they are being separated from their families and being deported. They are happy when many poor people in the United States are being kicked out of social welfare, out of Medicare, Medicaid. They are happy about that. Christians, what did we say about taking care of the less fortunate in the society? What does Christianity say about that? And when there is these major leaks from these dating apps, the MAGA fan base is being usually exposed. They are secret, closeted gay men. So you wonder where does the double standards comes from? We are fighting for the freedom of expression in this country, whereby you can love whoever you want. But MAGA is against that. But in the secret or in the dark corners of dating apps, they are closeted. So tell me what you think about these in the comment sections. Why does MAGA fanbase apply double standards in everything? Our farmers are struggling. Name the state: Tennessee, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Florida, California. Our farmers really are suffering. The guys who are protecting us from the corporate greed of these grocery stores in our country, they are suffering. And they voted for Trump. Trump placed studies on China. They didn't think that Trump policies would affect their farms. I don't know how, because it happened in 2018. Now they are asking the government to bail them out. The same government that is fighting against socialism. The same government that is promoting crony capitalism. And what's crony capitalism? Crony capitalism is when our farmers go broke, instead of anyone intervening, the corporates buy the farms and leave them empty, so that grocery can become supply. The supply of groceries can become low in our country, and then demand can rise and prices can rise. So our farmers voted against their interest, and Biden wanted to offer them a bailout in 2024, and the Republicans were against it. Now Republicans want to fund them socialism, which they are fighting against. So thank you for watching, and until the next video, thank you for your attention to this matter.